guys, have you ever been fighting one of the data battles and suddenly noticed a really cool attack or animation that you never noticed before because, well, you were fighting for your life against one of the hardest challenges of Kingdom Hearts 2? Well, then this video might be for you. Welcome to my Data Battle Breakdown series. These will not be guides, but rather a showcase of the animations that the data organization use, since during their fights, you're kind of fighting for your life, and this is probably the last thing on your mind. Today, we're looking at Larxene. Larxene is kind of an insane boss, with lightning fast attacks that give you very little time to recover. This fight is all about learning the phases and keeping your cool. It can be broken up into two parts, the solo phase and the clone phase. There's also the first and second phase that change some of her attacks when you pass a certain HP threshold. What I'll do is cover the solo attacks first, and then shift into the clone phase, showing the difference between the first and second halves of the fight as well. During the solo phase, Larxene will use lightning to attack Sora from afar. There are 4 variations to these lightning attacks, and during the second phase, some of them shift slightly. The first of the lightning attacks is a simple line of lightning that moves towards Sora. The lightning that Larxene calls forth has a nice dark thorn effect circling the bottom and is tinged with a yellow color rather than the typical white and black of usual dark thorns. When any of Larxene's attacks hit Sora, electricity arcs out around him, so I won't point that out every time, but it is a nice effect. This attack from Larxene does not change between the first and second halves of the fight. The next attack targets Sora directly, calling down 3 thunderbolts down from above. In the first phase, this is 3 strikes, but in phase 2, it strikes 7 times. The third attack that Larxene can use rains out lightning randomly, with the second phase adding more random lightning bolts to strike down. The last attack is more of a close range attack. Larxene twists into the air before she lands, crouching and thrusting out her arms. Lightning arcs out and a giant ring of dark thorns pushes out. 4 bolts of lightning on the inner cardinals rain down during this attack before 4 target Sora directly. This is another attack that does not change between the phases. Larxene actually has 2 ultimate attacks in this fight, one for her solo phase and one for her clone phase. Both will shift her to the other phase at the end. So when she is in her solo phase, it'll transition to her clone phase after it finishes, and vice versa. Larxene opens his attack by crossing an arm in front of herself and teleporting to the center. The same close-range lightning attack we saw before strikes down as she reappears. It's subtle and easy to miss, but right before powering up, Larxene does a hair flip, showing how she is hardly taking this fight seriously. The power-up animation is pretty impressive with darkness and lightning shooting up around her. Larxene rises up into the air, arms raised to her sides, as giant orbs of electricity shoot out from either side. She then begins to spin like a top. This effectively acts as a carousel of lightning, pushing you to move because not only are the beams coming back around at you, but a lightning bolt also targets Sora throughout, meaning you can't stay in place for long. At the end of this, another lightning AoE attack strikes down as Larxene teleports. She reappears in the center with 5 clones and dashes outwards with a striking attack, shifting into her clone phase. I love the way these teleporting animations look, with dark thorns appearing in a flash of light. The other way that Larxene can shift into this phase is by simply powering up like her ultimate attack, though instead of doing an attack, she just teleports in front of you with an additional clone, waiting for a second before dashing forward. I found out that this attack slightly homes in on you. Since we're already talking about this dash attack, I'll talk about the other different variations that she has. One has her lining up with a set of clones to dash forward, and one has all the clones starting on the outside of the arena and dashing through to the other side. It's really hard to see in the fight, but Larxene spins out towards you with an arm outstretched as lightning arcs out from that hand. I love the way she looks as she reappears, crouched and spinning upwards to stand in a ready position. The gloves are off, well, figuratively, and the fight ramps up from here. The clone phase is a lot more chaotic and more intense. Before every attack, Larxene will cover her face with a hand before twisting and teleporting away. The first attack is a simple dash forward before Larxene twists, slashing out at Sora. A really nice detail in this animation that I wanted to point out is the electricity trailing behind only one of the set of chakrams, which is the one she uses to slice at Sora. During the first part of the fight, Larxene will use 2 clones to attack, while in the second part, there are actually 2 variations. One is a set of 10 clones all doing this dashing strike attack one after the other. The other variation is only 7 clones, but during the strikes, another clone jumps into the air to deliver a strike attack. This is one of the other attacks, so let's just jump to that footage for a better look. Larxene launches herself into the air, flipping multiple times and arcing with lightning, before raising her arms up and slamming her hands into the ground, throwing forward 3 lightning strikes. The last attack only happens during the second part of this fight. It has Larxene diving down from above like an assassin. Her arms are crossed as she dives, cloaking herself in lightning. All of the clones land, though they quickly disappear, though the 4th and 8th clones land completely, slashing out and calling down 3 bolts of lightning around her. The ultimate attack for the clone phase is one of the most impressive parts of this fight. Both clones disappear together before 5 rush at Sora all at once, all taking a slash at him. They then appear around Sora, circling quickly as lightning circles around them. After a second, they all rise up and shoot inwards, meeting together and merging as Larxene finishes off the attack with an uppercut. She then slams down with the AoE lightning attack. During Larxene's clone phase, if you do a finisher to one of them, you will trigger an opening for the reaction command Merge. Sora dives forward, grabbing Larxene's wrist, and chucks her into the air. Like just... The other clone is so distracted looking up at her, giving Sora the opportunity to land and dive towards her, spinning around her and dragging her into the air. Sora throws the clone at the falling one, forcibly joining them back together. The animation is incredibly snappy and so satisfying to watch. The only other attack I can think of to point out is this counter attack, which is just a simple lightning bolt raining down on Sora. Larxene kind of throws her arms out to catch her balance and rains down this attack. And that is all the attacks and animations for Larxene. Hope you all enjoyed this entry in the Data Battle series. Be on the lookout for the next one on Marluxia. If you have any funny stories or particular headaches with this fight, I'd love to read them down in the comments below. A huge thank you to my patrons for their support. Their names will be up on screen right now. I genuinely appreciate the support, and if you want some nice perks like early access to my videos or monthly game nights, consider supporting me. Subscribe and share this video if you liked it, and I will see you in the next one.